So it's live action here at Marlins Park. Going to have the opener of a three-game set between two teams that are 22 and 17 in the TBL version 2.0. The Toronto Blue Jays and the Miami Marlins 2016 teams. So this is Tenacious Earl with you here on a Wednesday afternoon, and we're going to try and get this ball game in for you here. So let's get right to it. And so we'll start with the Blue Jays since they're the away team, as is typical for our world. So what do we got? We've got Tom Kohler pitching for Miami and Francisco Liriano coming over in the trade with Pittsburgh. He will get the nod for the Blue Jays. They're going with somewhat of a six-man rotation right now. So, Troy Tulowitzki has been the leadoff guy here in the Blue Jays' latest resurgence, so I'm sticking with him, and he's the shortstop. Then we'll go with Devin Travis, moving him up to number 2 because Jose Bautista is in an injury stretch here for the Blue Jays, so we have to redo the lineup a little bit here. Actually, both teams have right fielders that are in a little bit of injury problems, so we're making some changes because of that. So Devin Travis batting second, playing second base. Josh Donaldson at third. Then Justin Smoke will get the start at first base, the lefty. Actually, it might be a switch hitter, but anyway. Michael Saunders, the lefty, in right. Melvin Upton Jr. in center. Ezekiel Carrera in left. Josh Tolley will get a start behind the plate. And Francisco Liriano, the pitcher. So and we had we actually rolled a 1 on the D20 for weather, so about the best conditions you can get here in Marlins Park, which is 11s on the singles and 3s on the homers. Still a relatively tight, spacious ballpark, let's just say that. So Tulowitzki going to lead off here against Kohler. Game 1 of this series. See which of these two teams will make a bit of a statement in this stretch run towards the playoffs. This is the beginning of the 5 series that are left in this about a 75 game load remaining here. So here we go. That's a 1-7 against a righty, and that's a grounder to second base, and that'll be Miguel Rojas making the easy throw to first base for the out. So, played one game earlier today, and the Los Angeles Angels actually forced a blown save on Dellin Betances in the New York Yankees, but bottom of the 9th, responding, Aaron Judge in his first game hits a solo homer and walks off the Angels. So New York Yankees with another win. They are resurging. So here is Devin Travis for 6 righty. That's going to be a walk. Eyes are bugging me out here. So he reaches first. Glad to see Sports Time Machine doing a game earlier. So let's see, Kohler and Real Muto. So they're still a -1. Not a very good opportunity to steal there for Devin Travis. He's going to hold up, especially with power coming up. And a potential wild pitch, 1-11 for Kohler. And it is an 11, so Travis will take second on the errant delivery. So here's Donaldson still at the plate. 6-8 righty. This is going to score a run. 1 for a triple. Otherwise it's a single, but it will be 2-base advance, and Travis comes around to score 1-0. Blue Jays. So Next up, Justin Smoke. Hasn't played a whole lot. We've been using Encarnacion in the situation that, we don't have a DH, so kind of need to employ him every once in a while. 4-3, he's batting from the left. Normal power against righties, so this is a ballpark homer check, but it's a 1-3, so only a 15% chance that this goes. It would be a 2-run homer if it does. It is a 4, which that means I have to take a look here. Marlins Park, you cannot do home run robbing, so it is caught out there in right by Jeff Francoeur. And so that's the second out. Now Michael Saunders, 2 away. 1-8. Grounder to shortstop. That'll be a U6 scoring on the fielder's choice to end the inning. The Blue Jays do get on the top with a run. Okay. So let's see, just take a quick peek here at our comments. Where did I get the scoreboard? Yeah, so RJL, he's got some games going on too here and there, but yeah, I just basically what do I want to call it? Jerry-rigged it. That's probably the word I want to use. Kind of cobbled it together. A little bit of sweat, a little bit of wood, paint, went down the lumber yard. They gave me a break on buying all this deck boarding and stuff, so plywood. Got some nails. We got a scoreboard, so just like the old times. All right, so Marlins going to take on the lefty Liriano with this lineup. We made some choices with some right-handed hitters, so Martin Prado is the first choice third baseman. He'll bat first, and then Christian Yelich. I believe he is the only lefty in the lineup. He will bat second. JT Realmuto catching, batting third. Marcell Ozuna in center. Xavier Scruggs, just called up, gets his first start at first base. Miguel Rojas, second baseman, batting sixth. Jeff Francoeur, just acquired. He's going to bat seventh and play right field in place of Giancarlo Stanton, who's injured. Denny Hechavarria, the normal shortstop, and Kohler taking the mound, facing Prado. A hard worker, and my just got to, sometimes you just got to use that elbow grease, and you do it for the fans. So 3-6, that's a single to lead off for Prado. Knocks it right through. So let's see, +2, and Tolle is +2 as well. So that's a +4. So you add 2 to Prado. I think that makes it a 1-15 if he gets a good lead, right? We have to avoid a 12. I think, yeah. Let's give it a shot. Actually, because they're holding the runner, we can go with Yelich with the hit and run. Let's try a hit and run roll right now. The old splash and dash. Chuck and duck. Everybody duck, here it comes. And off of the pitch is Prado. Looking back in there, this is going to go off the pitcher's cards at 4-7. Batting from the left, that is a strikeout, which is converted into, because he is a B, it's actually going to be converted into a grounder to first, and it does advance the runner. So we'll say 3-1. Prado moves ahead. So there's a modification if it goes off the pitcher's card. There's 4 different results that change. 2 of them are singles and doubles. They go to single 2-star and double 3-star because obviously the runner is going. But the strikeout for for poorer hit and run guys, C and D, it's a batter misses the pitch, and then a walk is also that for the worst rated D. But then the A or B or C on the walk and the A or B on the strikeout are ground ball C's, which are advanced. So here's Real Muto with Prado at second base, looking to tie this ball game. There's a 6-7 righty, grounder to second. Should move the runner at the very least, since it's to the right side of the infield. That will be Devin Travis. We do say he's he would not be holding the runner, so he's a 3 and 7, and I think I just screwed him over. It's a case where if he's not holding the runner, but he is, so that becomes a single 2-star, and the run scores. So I play pretty much uniformly in this league where we hold all the runners, all the lead runners, and so, or anybody that has a chance like first to second, you'd hold him too. So then no error, but that is a single, and Prado scores. It's now 1-1. Marcel Ozuna, so Real Muto at first. I think we could try getting him a stolen base here. Let's give it a shot. 4 or 5 on the sum total of these will not come true. So we'd still have a 1-13. Maybe with 2 outs we'll try, but with 1 out here, we're not going to run. It's going to be Ozuna at the plate. Still, oh boy, maybe a wild pitch. 1-4. Nope. So Ozuna, 3-7 against the lefty, and this is going to be a grounder to shortstop. It's going to be flipped to Travis and then over to Smoke at first for the double play. And that ends any further damage caused by Miami. 1-1. This is the thing. When I use a scoreboard, I always forget to update it. I wish I had one of these little, I should find a way to have a controller right here that I just push a button off to the side and it knocks ahead the scoreboard. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it here, give me a second. Shh. Oh. And then, yeah, might as well just type it in again. There we go. Much better. A little bit of coding as we go. Okay, so Upton Jr. going to lead off the second. It is 1-1, all squared up. Righty 5-8. That's a grounder to Rojas. 2E28, 2 and 19, well within his range. He gets up and throws to first. 14 on an E28. But 13 and 15 are errors, but 14 is in the clear, and he makes a throw that is just held on to by Scruggs, and that's an out. Ezekiel Carrera. 2-12 against a righty. That's another grounder going to be fielded by Rojas, and an easy relay over to first for the second out. Here's Josh Toley. 111 grounder to shortstop. Hechavarria throws over, and that's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Tom Kohler. Make sure I got everything in order. Okay, to the bottom of the inning. So, Xavier Scruggs against the lefty. First at bat here in the season for the Marlins. This may be his first at bat in the majors. I'm not 100% sure. Should have looked that up. 6'10", righty. Okay, that's going to be a grounder to third base. Josh Donaldson, a 2.17, so his error rating isn't quite as good as his range. 2-17. He dives and gets to it, throws to first. 7 on an E17 is a play made. A good throw by Donaldson. Just beat Scruggs at first. 1 out. Miguel Rojas, 6'4", righty. Grounder to shortstop. That'll be Tulowitzki, 2E12. 2-10. He gets to it. And a 15 on an E12. We got to get more of these checks that are either under 8 or over 12. So what is he? So what was that? 15. Tulowitzki's an E12. And it is an error. He gets it, but just boots it, so that's an E6, and Rojas gets on. And now he has a chance to potentially, let's try, see if he can get a bag here. Needs a 4 or a 6. Gets a 9, so he's going to just stay. Jeff Francoeur against Liriano. Runner at first, 2-5. That is going to be at least a single. It's got a good chance of being a double, 1-14. But it's a 17. So a single first and third, 1 away. Rojas will be able to score on a sacrifice fly. And now the error looms large on Tulowitzki. Okay, here is Echeverria. They're going to play with infield at double play depth. Looking to get out of this inning unscathed. And here is the pitch. 5'9", righty. Strikes him out. Big strikeout. Brings up the pitcher, Kohler. You can see Kohler's card is impressive. Just got to avoid a pitcher card. There you go. Fly ball on the right. That'll be caught out there by Saunders. And that is another 0 on the board. And we're going to go to the third. Still 1-1. Let's see. Pitcher's hitting card. Number 1 for Francisco Liriano. So grabbed a very late lunch at one of my favorite places. I'm wiping my hand off on the bottom of this so I don't get any drips. I don't know if you guys have one of those near you. It's a military-themed restaurante. It's a barbecue place, and it's really good. Wouldn't call it cheap, but it's good. So, all right, to the third. And here is Liriano. 3-4 is going to be a grounder back to Kohler. I almost said Moeller. Kohler, and he makes the play. Get these cards a little closer to the camera. Hopefully there's a little better resolution. Tulo, his error didn't cause any long-term problems. That's going to be a strikeout. Now with 2 down, it's going to be Devin Travis. He reached. And I wrote it in the wrong spot. How about that? There we go. Devin Travis reached on a walk and scored. 3-6. That will be a 1-9 single. It's a 14, so that's going to be a liner caught by Prado, and that is a 1-2-3 inning for Kohler. Okay, bottom of the third. Still 1-1. I mean, but I'll tell you, because it's a chain, so I'm sure there's lots of good barbecue, and so especially, you know, and all sorts of different varieties. You got like your Caroline and your Kansas City and Memphis and all that stuff. So Texas, whatever. I mean, there's about a different type of barbecue, and each particular place likes theirs best. So just like what you get. Okay, top of the order for the Marlins. Prado scored in the first after singling, driven in by Real Muto. Righty 6-4 grounder to shortstop. So Mr. Tulowitzki hoping to redeem himself. He gets to it. Oh, no. That's a 17. Is he going to commit 2 errors in the same game? What was he, 12? No, he doesn't. He makes the play. If we had gotten 3 6s, that would have been an issue. But instead, that'll be 6-3-1. I mean, your normal distribution is going to be mostly between 8 and 12, but somehow he's gotten the big rolls. Okay, here's Yelich. 1-7 grounder to second base. So Devin Travis makes it look routine. And 1-5, that's a strikeout. Gets Real Muto swinging. And we're going to move on to the fourth. So you have a few what? Barbecue places or Mission barbecues? I mean, then you also have the barbecue, which is like the Asian barbecue and stuff like that. That's completely different, and which is also great. So, you know, it's variety is good. And top of the fourth, Josh Donaldson, Kohler, and Liriano working pretty well here so far in this game 196 of our 270 game project. Been working on this for a couple years now. 6'9" righty. Ooh, Nelly. Josh Donaldson connects on the 6'9". It's at a 1-9. It'll be a homer, and it will be a 2-1 lead. It's a 10, so it's going to stay in the park. Glance off the top, and Donaldson will stroll into second with a 2-bagger. Justin Smoke. Kohler with the sign. There's a 5-7. He's batting from the left. And that's going to set up a double play as he works a walk. And now Saunders. Lefty-righty. Wind up. 1-6. This has a chance for a 3-run job. 1-10. Is it going to go? It is not. But that will be a double. That will score at least 1. I think they're going to give Smoke the hold sign at third. In to score very easily is Donaldson, and it's 2-1. So Kohler here in the fourth running into a little bit of trouble. Now Upton Jr. couple of home run splits, and neither of them worked out. Now, as you can see, Melvin Upton Jr.'s card not very good since he moves over from San Diego. So they are going to play with corners in here, first and third, or actually second and third. So there's no force. They will play. They're going to play infield in altogether. So infield in here, going to try and cut the run off. 3-7 is a 3-7, yes, is a strikeout. My bad. Strikes him out. Big out there. Now they could consider walking Carrera to get to Tolley. think they're just going to keep the infield in. 1 out for Ezekiel Carrera. 5-3. Fly ball to, is that right field or left field? That's right field. So that's going to be Jeff Francoeur, a 3 rated right fielder. This could be a sacrifice fly. Let me take a look. 3. And we're going to roll the D20. 19, though. I think that's going to help them greatly. Yeah, that makes it an F3, which is too shallow to score from third. As long as they can avoid an error on the E7. There is 14, E7, and he does make the catch. And Smoke breaks, but then he has to move right back, and now you've got Josh Tolley, or you could go after Liriano here. Tolley, not a very good hitter here either, but he is a lefty, and you're taking a chance. They're going to go ahead and, you're going to pitch to Liriano too, and I believe he's hitting from the left side, which you're going to get the same deal. So here's Tolley with 2 outs. Can Kohler get out of this inning? 4-5 lefty. That's a walk. So there, that answers the question. It wasn't intentional. So here is Liriano, and he's pitching well enough. There's no way you're pinch hitting for him here. Top of the 4th. So bases loaded, 2 outs. Kohler's hoping for a 1, 2, or 3 on the white die. Here we go. The pitch. 2-5. That is a strikeout, and that is a huge escape. They do give up a run, but it could have been a lot worse. And Kohler gets out of the jam. Bases loaded. Actually, 2nd and 3rd with nobody out, and leaves everybody hanging there. So going to the bottom of the 4th. Meat just falls off the bone. That's... I'd like to get a smoker one day. I may. That would be super to be able to do that all yourself and just toss it in there. Keep an eye on it all day. Do a little bit of work there, here and there, and just sink your teeth into some marinated wonderful, Okay. Bottom of the 4th. Marcell Ozuna facing Liriano. Falling behind 2-1 here to the Blue Jays. 3-8 strikes him out. Got to look at the left-hand side of the card. It's a strikeout either one, though. Xavier Scruggs. 1-7. He's going to just miss it. Popped up to 2nd. That'll be caught by Travis. 2 away. Now Miguel Rojas. 6-9. That's a strikeout and a 1-2-3 inning. Liriano getting the job done. 2-1 Toronto through 4. Everybody has a smoker anymore. I think my brother just got one of those combos, like either grill smoker or one of those that's like a combo gas grill, like wood burning, whatever you want to call it. One you can grill with either briquettes or whatever. Jealous. Anyway, Tulowitzki. 2-8. Fly ball out in center field. It's going to be on the run there for Ozuna, and he does get to it, and that is 1 out. Devon Travis. Not Devon. I don't know, maybe it is Devon. 5'10", right-hander. Grounder to short. Hechavarria 1, E16. He will get to it. He's got the range. Does he have the arm? He does on a 10. That will be play made. 2 outs. On a rope. Here is Donaldson, who doubled and scored in the 4th inning to break the tie. 3-10. That's a grounder right back to Kohler. He jogs towards first, underhands it, and another 1-2-3 inning. And as I said before, I forget my scoreboard. Going to the bottom of the 5th, it is still 2-1. Okay, so Liriano wheeling and dealing here. Kohler, he's also a 6. So this is the end of the weakness after this inning. Or actually the beginning of the checks for weakness, so that's when we'll have to pay a little more attention. But pitchers, for the most part, have done well. Kohler has gotten into a couple of jams. But here's Francoeur, 212. That is a ballpark home run chance. Now, remember, this is Marlins Park. This is the best weather possible, but it's still a 15% chance. 1-3. Can Francoeur get them tied up here? You need a 1, a 2. Actually, you need a 1 or a 2 because you can do 1, 2, 2 or 3 because there's no robbing at all. So 1, 2, or 3 gets him a homer. It is a 7, and that will be caught in left. And that's a dying ball that is kind of feeling like the Marlins' dreams of being in the playoffs. Things have not been easy for them the last week or two. Hechavarria, 2-7, grounded to second base. It'll be Travis, throws to first in time. Now Kohler. Tough call. 6-10 is going to be a grounder to third base. So this is Donaldson 2, E17, 2-20. He gets to it. 14 on an E17. Requires a check. Makes the play. Okay, we're through 5. Blue Jays still clinging to a 2-1 lead. Okay. Thought about pinch hitting for Kohler, but with nobody on, it made the decision even easier. Hey, Manny. Hey, Jeremy. Good to see you both. Doing just dandy right now. So, as I said, Kohler could have thought about trying to get something going, but again, with nobody on base, makes sticking with him that much easier. And just noticing here that Liriano has sat down the last 11 in a row, so Liriano is on fire right now. 2-8 against a righty. This is a 1-6 chance at a single. That is a 7, so that's been the way that it's been more the way it's gone for the Marlins. But Smoke grounds out to Rojas. Drawing a blank there. I had to look at my sheet. Try to get these things memorized, but played a lot of games here. 5-6 lefty strikes him out. This is the inning of weakness, but he has gotten 2 out of 2 here. And now Melvin Upton Jr. 5-10 righty. Grounder to shortstop. Hechavarria 1, E16. 1-8. Gets to it. 13 on 16 is an out, and that will be another 1-2-3 inning. Two one still. Blue Jays ahead. I figured if you guys have to look at that wood on my dice tower at the very top, then you could probably stand to look at some kind of a scoreboard. So I just, as I told RJL, I wheeled myself down to the local lumber place and, had my truck. They had a good deal on planks and plywood and paint. So I just went ahead and, actually I had to get the paint at the Sherwin-Williams, but yeah, just slapped it together, threw it up there in right field, and now the fans have a scoreboard to help them see what the score is if they've forgotten. Actually, it means I don't have to write it down here, but if I remember. Okay, so Liriano pitching well, but he's up against Prado, who has singled off him. He's 1 for 2. 3-8. Now this is going to be a tough single roll. It's 1-3. Probably not, but you never know. It's an 8, so that's a grounder to second base. Actually, it's third base. Wait, what the heck am I doing? 3-5. That's a really interesting defensive formation for the... That's a real weird shift right there for Toronto. Smoke throws over to Donaldson for the out. All right, Christian Yelich, lefty, 6'9", lefty's a strikeout. Liriano, that's, what is that? 13 in a row. Brings up Real Muto. Still a 1-run lead. All it takes is one smash, and this thing is all squared up. 5-6. This is going to be at least a single. It could be a triple on a 1-4 for Real Muto. It's a 6, so a single, but that's a runner, and his retire streak is over. And now it's Ozuna. Comes up, potential wild pitch for Liriano, 1-4. Not going to happen. But 5-10 righty, grounder to shortstop. It's going to be a 6-4 force play. Fielder's choice ends the inning. So still nothing doing for the Marlins. And we will go to the 7th. Still 2-1. Blue Jays. Whoa, I just missed my pitcher's hitting card. So Kohler is not weak. And since he hasn't come up to the plate, I think he is A-OK to keep going. We're not taking Liriano out while he is pitching well. So here's Carrera against Kohler, lefty against righty. 3-4, grounder back to Kohler. He throws to first, and it's a quick out. Josh Tole. 3-10. That's a ballpark single chance. 1-11. Good numbers here in Florida, but that's a 13. That'll be a liner caught by second baseman Miguel Rojas, and now it is Liriano up. There's a 4-7 lefty. That's going to be a walk. So Kohler probably right at the point of being tired. He's gone. This will be the 28th hitter, and it's Tulowitzki, who has been on fire. So Marlins should really have somebody warming up. It'll be Hunter Cervenka. Maybe for Smoke, and Brian Ellington from the right side. Okay, so Tulowitzki with a runner at first, 2 outs. Liriano at first, 5-7 righty, and this is more trouble. 1-15 double. It's not going to score a run, but it will be a double, and it'll be second and third with 2 outs. And are they going to let Kohler face Travis or Don? They could walk Travis. They're gonna let him pitch. So it's gonna be Kohler against Travis, 2 outs. Real gamble here. It could go very wrong, but they're already behind. They're gonna try and get Kohler through this inning, through 7. Here we go. Travis at the plate. 3-5 is a single. It gets through the hole. That's going to score 2 runs, and that is a dagger. Trouble is, we would have brought in Ellington, and the same thing would have been. So Kohler kicking the mound, stirring up the dirt, disgusted with himself, left one over the plate, and Travis just punched it. Made contact, that's all he was looking for, and now with Donaldson coming up, the Blue Jays with 2 across here make it 4-1. And with Smoke coming up to the... Actually, no, it's Donaldson. They're going to go to the righty. It's going to be Ellington. Kohler goes 6.2, 6 2/3, but it's going to leave Travis at first. Let's see, Ellington and Real Muto. I don't think that's good enough to try sending Travis when you've got a power hitter at the plate. So here's Donaldson against Ellington, 2 outs. 3-7, grounder to shortstop. He's going to take it to the bag himself, use 6, fielder's choice, and that will be it. So a 2-out rally gets 2 more runs for Toronto. 7th inning stretch. 4-1. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I really don't care if I ever get back. Okay, Liriano still in the zone here. Let's see, they've got Smoke, Saunders. I think they'll leave Hunter Cervenka, the left-handed reliever, warming up for Miami, and he will pitch the 8th. Down 4-1. They're going to have Xavier Scruggs leading off against Liriano. 3-9, grounder to second base. Up with it is Travis. He throws to first in time. Miguel Rojas, 1 out. 6-9 righty. There's a strikeout. Liriano wheeling and dealing here. Kicking and sticking. I don't know. 4-7 righty. Well, there's a walk. So 2 outs. That's what did in the Marlins there at the top of the inning, was a 2-out walk. Got Liriano. You walk the pitcher, you're asking for trouble. And they walked Liriano. Then the double by Tulowitzki set it up for the 2 RBI single by Travis. So here's Hechavarria. Runner at first, 2 outs. I don't think... Let's see. We got Liriano. I mean, I think Francoeur is a 13. Yeah, you got to try to steal here. You'd like to try and get 1 run if you can. It looks like this is you're gonna be buying a run here if you can get it. So he needs a 4 or a 6 on the roll. It's a 7, so it doesn't get the lead, and so that idea goes by the wayside. Hechavarria now with 2 outs. 6-9 lefty strikes him out. No runs, no hits, 1 left. And we're going to go to the 8th. So, let's see. Let's go with Cervenka. I was thinking about just sticking with Ellington, but let's bring in Hunter Cervenka. I'm not sure he's pitched in my project here. Okay, so 3rd of an inning for Ellington. Gets the fielder's choice, ground out. And so here we are, top of the 8th. 4-1, Toronto on top. Here is Smoke against the lefty. 1-2, he's going to draw a walk. Now Michael Saunders. Runner at first, nobody out. 6-8 lefty Grounder to second base. It could be 2. Depends on what happens here with Travis. With the lefty at the plate, there's no... Actually, no, it's not Travis. It's Rojas. There's no degradation in his range. So Rojas is a 2 and a 4. He's not holding. So that does help. 2 and a 4. It's a G3. So that means the runner will advance. Does he make the play? That's a 13 on the E28. He does not. That's going to be an error, and the runner does move to second. E4. First and second, nobody out. And now it's going to be Melvin Upton. I think they'll stick with Cervenka being so far behind. 6'10 righty. It's a catcher X. So that's going to be Real Muto at 2. 2 and 4. Might be a pass. No, it's going to be a wild pitch. As long as there's no error. Wow. The high numbers are rolling here tonight. That's a 16. It's not going to be. He's an E2, so it's not an error. But it is a wild pitch, and so it's going to be second and third, nobody out. Nothing really of his volition here, so Cervenka. 5'11 righty, and now they have to play with what, the infield in here. So that's a 1-12 triple for Upton Jr. That's a 5, so that will get all the way to the wall. That's going to be a triple. It's going to score both runners, and this game is getting to be a little bit out of hand here now. 2 across, 6-1. And, well, because of the error, he has not... so they're going to play infield in again. Carrera up, lefty against lefty. He's not tired yet because of the error. 3-4. Ballpark single. 1-11. That would score another run. But it's a 13. A liner going to be caught by Rojas. Still 6-1. Again, infield in with Tolle at the plate. Lefty. 2-10. Ground to third base A. So the results of that, runner at third, infield in on an A, batter out, runner holds. So 5-3, runner holds, and now the pitcher spot, Liriano. And with a 6-1 lead, they're going to... I think they will pinch hit. Let's see who's coming up for the pitcher spot, and then Prado, and then Yelich. So not, I guess Biagini will be the one that's going to get up. So they're going to pinch hit. All right. Well, if they're going to pinch hit with Encarnacion, then Cervenka is going to be relieved. And they're going to go with Barraclough, or Barraclaw, however you want to say it. So Cervenka gets 2 outs. Runner still at third. And let's see, the Marlins are going to... So what is this, top of the 8th? Yeah, let's do it. I was weighing the double switch here. We're going to go with Suzuki coming in and right. And we will, so we're going to double switch these guys. Francoeur is coming out. Suzuki 2 -1 E2. And now I've got to adjust this so Kohler's, well, the pitcher is going to hit in the 7 hole, which will come up 8th next inning, and Suzuki is going to lead off the bottom of the 8th. And Liriano, this is going to effectively get rid of Liriano, but Barraclaw is in to face Encarnacion. They're going to try and extend this lead even farther. So 2 outs, runner at third. 5-7 righty. It's a grounder to second base. Rojas 2E28. And a 2 and a 1. It's going to be a single and it's going to score a run. So another one in for Toronto. Horrible luck for the Marlins. Let's see, the E28 and a rare play. Pulling out all the stops here, are we? S1 rare play. Runner on first base. There isn't any. So there's no hitting the runner. It's a single and score. And that makes it 7-1. Big double E with the RBI. Tulowitzki. Oh, 1-20. That is a wild pitch. And now still Tulowitzki at the plate. 2-3 righty. 1-10 single. Things just keep. Okay, but there is going to be a liner to short to end the inning. So, wow, 3 more runs for Toronto. That is 7-1. Things are just escalating. Biagini will be pitching for the Blue Jays. Actually, they haven't announced him. We're going to make a change. We're going to go with Ryan Tepera. Try to go with some lower leverage guys here. So 7 innings pitched for Francisco Liriano, and it's going to be Ichiro, the first to face him. 4-3 lefty, ballpark single chance. Is that a ballpark single? Yes, it is. Ballpark single, 1-11. There it is, single for Suzuki. He's going to try to get a lead here. Let's see, Tepera -1, Toley +2, so -1 from, it'd be a 1-18 if he rolls a sum of 6 here. It's a 9, so not going to happen. Here's Prado. Nobody out, runner at first. 1-9 righty. That's going to be a double play grounder. 6-4-3. That brings up Yelich with nobody on and 2 out. 1-7 righty is a grounder to second base. That will retire the side. Travis with the play. So we're going to go to the 9th. 7-1. And Barraclaw is going to pitch a second inning here. He's going to face Devin Travis to start, righty. 6-5 is a strikeout, 1 out. Josh Donaldson, 5-6 is a strikeout. And now Justin Smoke, 3-8, another strike. He strikes out the side, so bottom of the 9th coming up. And so it's Real Muto, Ozuna, Scruggs, all righties. They will have Jason Grilly try and get this final 3 outs and send them ahead of the Marlins by a game. They would get to 23-17. Marlins drop 22-18. Here we go with Grilly against JT Real Muto, the heart of the order. 1-11, grounder back to Grilly. He's going to throw to first. Whoops. 1 out. Marcell Ozuna. 2-12. That's a grounder to second base. Travis throws across in time. And now Xavier Scruggs. Do we have... Is there anything here? Chris Johnson might be a better... they're both... He's a little better. Let's go with... Let's pinch hit with Johnson here. Pinch hitting with Chris Johnson. 2 outs. Nobody on. Grilly looking to get this final out and get the Blue Jays this first game of the series. 2-5. That's a strikeout. That is it. Scruggs went. I don't think Scruggs would have done any better. No, he would have. He would have walked. Oh well. Doesn't make a difference. That is your final here. 7-1. Blue Jays take game 1 of this series, which may have some major implications in the final playoffs. As Miami, they are, thanks Jimmy B, as they are scuffling around here. Let me see. Can I get the standings? Can you guys see that? No, you can't. Let's go with this. Okay, so here's the standings. I don't have them updated, but as you can see, Toronto, San Diego, and Miami are all right in that mix. As you can see, the New York game is updated, 18-22, so they are making us a charge here. New York has won. They've won 1, but they're 7-3 in their last 10, as you can see on the bottom part of the screen here. Toronto, they've won 4. They're also 7 wins, 3 losses in the last 10. Whereas Miami, they are 3 wins, 7 losses, and they've lost 2 in a row. They're struggling right now. So, yeah, right now the Angels have lost 6 straight, and things are not looking so good for them, but that's okay. Not everybody can make the playoffs. It'll be top 4 teams when we finally get there. So that brings us back to 74 games left in this project. I'm not going to play all of them, but we will play some. Glad that you guys like this little scoreboard. It's a pretty quick code. What software is it to keep stats? That is Stratomatic PC. It's relatively simple to set up your league in it. I did put a video out here a few weeks ago on how to, although I'm not sure I got it completely right. There are a lot of little things that you need to be able to set up, but you can set it up to enter the scores manually. It makes it a lot easier. I mean, obviously there's ball score, which is, it has its own idiosyncrasies. A lot of people use iScore on like the iPhone, the iOS products. I guess they probably have an iPad version as well. So if that's what you like to do, there's that. But I've been using Stratomatic PC for this particular project from the beginning, and it does a pretty good job. Again, you kind of like play out the game twice. So I'm usually, but although lately I will say I have been scoring the game kind of every half inning, so I set up my game on the PC while I have this out. I score the game, score a half inning on my paper, then I step over to the computer, put it in. I feel like that's a good medium as far as flow goes. I really like the flow of keeping the score on the paper, and I hate to interrupt it too much by doing a whole lot of computer stuff. But there's also the issue. Now I have this guy here that I've done. When I do a game on the channel, now I have to go and enter the whole game afterwards. And there are issues when it comes to that. The biggest one being if you set up your rosters on a day-to-day basis, like updating your, to try and keep a 25-man roster, if you start a game in Strat PC and you don't have your full, and if you don't have an activated player activated in Strat PC, if you get to the 7th inning and you realize your reliever wasn't available, you've got to basically start the whole thing over, and that's maybe 10-15 minutes. It can be even more annoying when you find out that you get to the 8th inning and then you look at your paper and you realized you forgot to put in a pinch runner and they stayed in the field or whatever, and then you've kind of got to like undo and backtrack all the way to the spot where, I mean, it's the same thing in Ball Score, because both programs, I believe, are populating the data as the game proceeds, so it kind of has to spool out all the data in the same fashion. So okay, I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thanks for watching here. Toronto gets to 23-17. They look like they are a shoo-in for the playoffs. They should be. They were a good team. You've got teams like San Diego, and San Diego should not be here, but we'll see if they can hang in. Marlins, they're questionable. You should see Baltimore. Obviously, the Mets are way out there, but you should see Baltimore and the Yankees have a chance. And you might see, you're still wondering about somebody like Detroit. They had a pretty decent record. Question is, which I like about this league format, is always how do these teams match up against a different sort of strength of schedule. Your AL East seems to always be in a tough division, and there may be, that's one of the things, and even if you played this kind of a thing with a historic season, if you picked random teams, you might have some interesting cases where you might have had a third place team that had no chance at a wild card, outplaying some of the teams that did get in the playoffs. So anyway, sure thing, Bosher. Yeah, right. Jimmy B with another excellent point, which is another good reason when you play games on here is like it's easier to keep your mind in the game and say, okay, giving an extra out. Whether it's giving an extra out or whether it's under giving outs, if you forget, if you think that you've already given them one out or whatever, and you end up shortchanging, and then it's like, how do you reaccount for all that? It's both frustrating and also kind of quizzical. Like, it's tough to decide what the right play is. I mean, you really can't get the game back out. So if I give one fewer outs, usually what I try to do is find a ground ball force that I think it's probably plausible that it would have been a double play ball, and try to get an extra out that way. Especially if it was on like it was a second out, and then just kind of like move everything a little bit. If there's too many outs, I feel like that's a little. I mean, what really ends up happening is that you also have this case where all of the runners that were on base, either that did score or didn't score, then have the potential to score if you're kind of reverse engineering the game and moving your inning demarcations based on outs. So you could end up with a single that led off an inning meaning something because it could actually be like a 2-run single. Or if you had a leadoff homer, I mean, you could end up with, if your second out was an inning-ending ground out with the bases loaded, then if you then follow the next inning, you hit a home run to lead off, then that's really a grand slam, and then your score is all bunged up. So what you might want to do in that situation is say, okay, that ground out, that's a double play, and just be done with it. So Bosher likes I-score, it seems limited, keeping stats. So thanks, RJ. I'll tell you, I've you just have to find, you have to just decide what is best for you. I would try each of the products if you can. I mean, Stratomatic PC is an expense, but if you buy it in February in the package deal with the season that's newly out, it's not quite as much of a hit, I don't think. You're still buying cards, but I mean, a lot of us end up, if we're going to buy the season set from Strat, we're probably buying the extra players too. And if we add the PC version on, it might be $80-$90. I don't know. I mean, it is tough because you're throwing out there a good chunk of change. But sometimes you just have to cut your losses and say it's worth it. And if I don't go to Starbucks a couple times this month, then, or for a couple months, then that's going to save me $10 or $15 a month or whatever. And then if I do 2 or 3 months of that, then I've got that extra $40 that it cost me for. You could do all those kinds of games, or you could just not care and say, you know what, I could be out in the bar every night, causing real problems in my family life, and it's not to say that you should just brush aside money problems. Money is the source of a lot of issues in marriages and such. So, you can't just, you just have to. Sometimes you just have to say, I have to hold off for a month or a couple months. I mean, in my case, I say that a lot because I have a lot of crap that I haven't even played yet. So, it's a toss-up. Do you go and keep spending? And I feel like that's not being a good steward of my money. But, we all have a little bit of, shopaholic in us, I think. So, anyway, don't mean to keep on going, but yeah. So, payoff pitch, great quality, great pipe price. Yeah, so, I know that's one game. Heck, I got this Formula One game. It was, like I said in the video, it was under $10, and it doesn't have a ton of the detail that you get in some of the other advanced versions of games, like in this baseball game here. But for what it does, it's quick, it's pretty simple to learn, and I do think that here over time, because I really want to replay. So I'm doing 2018 replay. What I really want to get to is a 2019 replay. Because I feel I like the idea that that's the emergence of some of these younger drivers. Charles Leclerc moves to Ferrari. You get Lando Norris, who took a podium this weekend for McLaren. That was his first year. I like George Russell. He's in a crappy car with Williams. But you got him. You've got Alexander Albon, who might very well have won the race this past weekend if he wasn't knocked out of the race by Lewis Hamilton. I think that was a strategic move by Hamilton, knowing that Albon actually had the pace with the new set of tires to be able to overtake his teammate who was in the lead, Bottas. So, but you know, there's some strategy elements that I think I might try and tool in there before I start a 2019 project. I'd like to try and see if I could figure out some tire strategy. I posted that in the Facebook group for the Chiavini games. Just some initial thoughts on what that might look like. Kind of rudimentary thoughts. But, you know, the nice thing about a game that is pretty simple as far as what the manufacturer gives you is it does afford an opportunity to look at things that can help you, you know, institute whatever advancements you want in order to improve the realism, add strategy elements. I mean, solo is always tough to add strategy elements because you want to make sure that you don't do it in a way that's unnatural or that would bias to one driver or one player or team or whatever or another. And it's tough. Sometimes you get penalties for a decision, which then makes the idea that it's, you know, takes the strategy element out of it. So there's that. Then it's less strategic and more just utilitarian. I need to remove the pitcher because all those dots become singles. I mean, that's the penalizing part. And I think as far as like tire strategy goes, I think you could do the same thing where you could have events degrade your tires. So anyway, let's see. Norris is from Somerset, United Kingdom, near you. Yeah, so it's funny. These racers are just super rich. So I think I read his father is probably the richest guy in that particular area. He's, you know, I guess Lewis Hamilton didn't necessarily come from as well-to-do backgrounds as some of the other drivers, but a lot of these drivers are just super rich. Verstappen's dad was a driver. You know, Leclerc comes from Monaco, which is basically swimming in money. I don't think everybody in Monaco is rich, but a lot of them are, and just a lot of these guys are. Yeah, so I mean, Lance Stroll, his dad bought a team and made him the driver. Nicholas Latifi, I think his father is looking to buy Williams. They're both Canadian drivers, so you see that there's a lot of money in the sport. And I also had heard about the possibility of there's a Formula 2 driver named Nikita Mazepin. I think his father was looking to may have been in on buying Williams and making his son a driver. So the F1 game is called Daring Racers. So you have to find Roberto Chiavini and his games out there. There's a couple of sites. The best way if you want to get the game is to email him. I don't have his email. Well, you know what? I could mention the email right now. So, I think he's okay. So it's Pumaye, Pumaye @gmail.com. That's probably the best way to contact him, and just if you have interest in any of his games, because he's got a ton of games. He's sort of like, I'd say he's the king of sort of the niche sport. I know the niche sport thing. So Olympic Games and things like that. So But anyway, all right. I'm going to get going. So thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you soon here. Toronto wins 7-1 over the Marlins. Hit the like if you would, and see you soon.